Here at my company, Northmax Services, when we begin a new website project, one of the very first questions looming is where the content for that website is going to come from. Now, this question is part of our onboarding process, but even still, as a client, you may not know what to expect or what we're even looking for. So, in this video, we're going to describe what website copywriting is, why your business needs it, and even give you a rough idea of what it should cost you to have it done. Before we dive in, there is a caveat that you must understand when it comes to working with us in particular. Most web design companies do not do copywriting. And in fact, most of them do not even facilitate the connection between you and the copywriter. In other words, they would just tell you to go search for one and find one and hire them. Now, we have a different take on this, and it's because we realize how important the copy is to the overall end product. If your business is quite niche or you're a really good writer with a good sense of what you would like to say on the site, then we're quite happy for you to provide the content. But the fact is that many we work with are just not in this situation. And so for that reason, we like to make the copywriting for the website just as much a part of the process as the design for the website itself. If needed, we will build the copywriting cost into the arrangement with you to make sure that you have a well-performing site that reads clearly and presents well to your target audience so that it's not something you even have to worry about. Website copy is, just as much as anything else, marketing copy. It's language that has been carefully crafted to explain the value that your business provides to the person who is most likely to become a customer, client, or student. Some have the idea that this type of copywriting is unnecessarily hypey, and so it wouldn't resonate with their audience. But the truth is that most people are motivated by the same ideas. While your website should use conversational language instead of that nasty sounding corporate lingo that isn't compelling to anyone, it should also be very persuasive in nature. Have you ever noticed that the structure and language behind infomercials has not changed very much during your lifetime? It's fascinating that even despite the technological advances, the new platforms, the new tools, technologies, and resources that we have available, when it comes to triggers that cause people to take action, very little has actually changed. And one of the biggest mistakes that any business can make is to allow new platforms to dictate the way in which you speak to your customers. Marketing is not about platforms, okay? These are just delivery mechanisms that help us spread the message further and wider. At the end of the day, the same things get customers and clients to spend with you today as they did yesterday. So some of these items include using emotion over logic, using urgency and scarcity, injecting curiosity into your headlines, leading prospects to the right decision, personality and authenticity with a few timeless principles in mind, actively pursuing a purchase rather than passive suggestion, giving people lots of benefits to becoming a customer or client or student, providing a guarantee that makes it a no-brainer to say yes, and lots more. The point here is that the copy on your website is not simply words that describe who you are and what you do. They do this, of course, but with an emphasis on ensuring the prospect knows what to do with your message in order to move to the next phase of the relationship. Would you be interested to find out the single biggest website copywriting mistake that is costing you thousands of dollars every year? I'm going to share this mistake with you, but first, I want to get a bit meta and analyze that statement. It's basically a headline that I just gave you, like you would read at the top of a sales letter or something, or the header even of a homepage of a website. Are you curious to learn more about what that biggest mistake is? I said things like, it is the single biggest. What could that be? I said it's a mistake. You want to learn how to avoid mistakes, presumably, right? And it's costing you thousands. What on earth could be such a big deal that it's costing you thousands of dollars? And it does this every year? It's like, okay, there's no way. Don't you want to know what it is? The headline triggers an emotional curiosity in you, and that's the point. There was nothing unethical or hypey about the headline because I'm going to deliver on that promise. But if I want you to stay interested enough to keep reading, I just can't be boring about it. Could have written the headline like this: Why you should use emotion in your website copywriting. And you know what? That headline might be okay. It's not that bad, but it's just okay. It doesn't give you a real reason to keep reading because you already know what it's going to be about. And so if you don't think that you're interested in that topic, then it doesn't invite you any further into the story. So, a bit of a spoiler alert, your website copywriting should be full of emotional language. Now, please don't ever forget this very simple principle when it comes to marketing. People buy on emotion and they justify with logic. Nobody has ever rationalized their way into a Ferrari. Okay, it just doesn't happen. If a guy wants a Ferrari, he wants it because of those sleek lines, the gorgeous red color, the Lambo style doors. It's all emotional. Now, he may quickly switch to logic and rationalization when he explains his need for the vehicle to his wife. It'll help me make more sales. I'll only drive it on the weekend, so it won't use much gas, and on and on and on. But that's not why he bought the car, right? He didn't buy for those reasons. He bought because he wanted to feel the emotion of owning the car. Therefore, most of your website copy should speak to the customer's needs, wants, and desires, and then how your products, services, or programs can help fulfill those. Now, if you choose to work on our website copywriting project with us, when will it be completed, or when should it be completed? Well, when it comes to our process, we like to have the content in hand, if at all possible, before we start designing the website. And there are two reasons for this. First of all, frankly, it's much easier to design a website around content than to create a design and force the content to fit into it. And then secondly, more importantly, the website should be designed around the content. This is just really how it should be done. The content should come first to make the sales arguments, and then the design should be there to support the content and draw people into it. So we recommend going ahead and completing all of the market research and content writing before the design work starts. But there is one possible exception to this, and that would be your homepage. So oftentimes the information you provide on our onboarding questionnaire is going to be sufficient for us to actually begin work designing a homepage for you on your website. It won't be complete until the final copy is written, but it does give us a head start so that the project can move ahead and stay on schedule. Now, you might wonder, what does the actual process of copywriting look like? Well, I would encourage you to keep an open mind throughout the process, as we're probably going to end up suggesting things that might stretch your current mindset. Regardless, we'll always strive to stay within any boundaries that you set. And ultimately, look, it's your website. But if we can stretch your mindset in a way that will stay true to your brand, but provide better results, that's what we're going to aim to do. So website copywriting step number 1 is going to be market research. Assuming that we are going to write the content for your site, the very first thing we'll do is conduct research into your business, your market category, and also your clients. Simply put, the better we understand your business, the better we can write about it. Now, the market research that we do may include interviewing you, a few of your clients. Of course, we would need your permission for that, and general internet research around your business and your business model. Step number 2 is the copy proposal and review. So after we feel confident in your business and your market, then we're going to proceed to write the suggested copy for the pages that need it. Once we have that copy in place, we'll go ahead and send it to you and ask for any potential changes that you would like to see. You'll provide us with any suggested revisions, and we'll go back to the copy to make sure that ultimately it's in line with your expectations. Remember, though, keep your mind open to the possibilities. We work with expert copywriters who know how to make website visitors take action. So usually our first draft is going to be on point from that perspective, so we should change it as little as possible. Okay, step number 3 is the copy finalization. At this point, we'll finalize that copy and our designers will begin to apply it to the website itself. We think you'll find this to be a pretty smooth process that's unique from any that you have experienced before, and hopefully you come on board with us to try it out for yourself. All right, the ultimate question, right, is how much should you expect to pay for website copywriting? It's a great question, and as you might imagine, it depends. Okay. Never fear, though. I'm going to explain why it depends and also give you some ballpark ranges to think about. So what about during an existing build? So if we're already building a website for you, what does it look like to have copywriting done? Well, our company in particular operates largely on a subscription based model. So this means our website design services are not paid for in draws or in lump payments. Instead, you're going to pay a monthly fee for our ongoing services, and it's that simple. Now, sometimes we do require website setup fees depending on the needs of the project. And if you'd like us to do the website copywriting for you, then yes, there will be a setup fee involved. The average website would incur a setup fee between $900 to $1,500 to complete the copywriting, which is not bad to make sure that your website is professionally written and speaking to your intended audience. I know some companies who charge quite a bit more than that, and the results aren't any better, in my opinion. Now, what if it's a one-off copywriting job? We're not in an active project for you or anything like that. Well, no worries there. Even though we always prefer working together for a while via the subscription model, we're open to some one-off collaboration as well. Now, since there's no way to guess your exact needs in a video like this, it is much harder to give you an idea of final price. But on average, we end up somewhere around $300 to $500 per page for general website copy. If it's content-based writing, it might be a little cheaper than that. And if it's heavily sales-based writing, probably a bit more expensive than that. Now, how do our rates, those ones I just mentioned, compare to other options? Well, we're not the right fit for everyone, and we completely understand that. And in fact, we understand that even our content may not be the right fit to answer every question, including this one. So we can truthfully say that nothing we've read to this point in our research has caused us to alter our pricing. So we're pretty confident in our value and our methodology. We did some preparation prior to this video and came across some excellent resources that answered this specific question, and I'm going to link you to those in the video description below. A quick skim through those posts shows the average rates that you might pay for different word counts across different kinds of pages from writers with various levels of experience. I encourage you, please go check them out and see if you feel that our pricing is competitive. Okay, what are some other considerations you might want to think about? Well, it's not all about pricing. In my opinion, copywriting is a service on which you should spare no expense, right? It's that important. It's a lot more of an investment than it is a cost. But there are some additional things that you should think about, and I'm happy to provide them for you here. So first of all is resources and experience. I group these together because you might be surprised to know that copywriting is not creative writing. Okay, at all, actually. In fact, I've met people who took up copywriting pretty quickly once they learned how to put the basic building blocks together. Great copy is not about creativity or experience. It's much more about resources, okay? If your copywriting team has creativity, experience, and resources, all the better. What about previous work? You might want to request to see previous work from your copywriting team. And of course, they should be willing to provide you with some examples. Even though we don't make our projects publicly available for a variety of reasons, we'd be happy to show you examples of our work should you ask. Okay, next is going to be communication. So this one's a biggie. In fact, it's the thing that we've staked our entire reputation on as a company. No amount of experience, previous work, or resources can make up for a lack in communication skills and staying in touch throughout a project. You should count on your copywriting team to have a process, regular touch points throughout that process, and the ability for you to get in contact whenever needed. Okay, if you don't have that, then you just don't have a good team. During your assessment of the options, make sure to vet the communication style of the team that you're working with. If you get a bad vibe, drop them and move on to the next option. It's too important for you to cut corners or sacrifice communication when it comes to your website copywriting. All right, wrapping up here. Once again, the question of website copywriting is probably one of the most common ones that we receive. A professional should really handle the copywriting on your website. And at the very least, if you write your own copy, a professional should really copy edit it to make sure that it will be effective. And that's totally fine, by the way. If you want to write your own copy, we work with copy editors as well. And it's a great idea just to have that looked over by a professional. If you'd like more information about our copywriting or copy editing services, please go to northmaxservices.com, click on request a quote, and just fill out that form, and we'll be right back in touch with you ASAP. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope this gave you the information that you need to know to get started, to make a decision about website copywriting. But also, we would love to work with you. So if you think we could be a good fit, please go fill out that form. I would love to be in touch with you about getting the website copywriting done on your site.